I saw bright lights. She just always seemed so young, like rainbows flashing at me.
Something can be taken out of your life so quick.
Looked like I was seeing a white tunnel.
Never in a million years would I think that she'd be someone that would have a heart attack.
It can happen to anybody at any time.
I'm Jodi Dobbs, and I'm a survivor. Megan had an opportunity to play volleyball, and so we went on a recruiting visit. Mike, my husband, and Megan and I. College was Southern Illinois, which is about 8 to 9 hours. So it was a long trip. We were driving along, and we went by this hospital. And the hospital stood out to me.
She made a comment that, hey, Megan, they got a nice hospital. If you ever got hurt, you're in good hands here,
So we drove around the town. I felt like I had indigestion. The indigestion turned more into like contractions. And as I sat in the car, then my chest started getting heavy.
And now she's holding on to the door handle in the car.
And I actually was trying to breathe through like my contractions. I was like, oh, I can handle this. I can breathe, slow it down. And it was not working. So I felt like there was an elephant sitting on my chest. And I said, we need to go to the emergency room. Something's not right. We ended up going back to that same exact hospital we just drove by.
We pull into the ER.
The administration gal was asking, okay, what's your name? Where are you from? But a nurse happened to walk by and she says, no, she's having a heart attack. She needs to be in there hooked up. We need to get her some drugs now.
We didn't think it was a full-fledged heart attack by any means. I mean, those weren't the symptoms, She wasn't having pain down the arm.
And I said, well, I can't have a heart attack. I was 50. I have no symptoms. I'm healthy, other than going through the 50-year-old, I call it mental pause, but it's menopause.
Jodi was wanting to not miss her daughter's recruiting trip, and she wanted to be part of that.
But my husband and the doctor, thank goodness, told me, no, you're staying.
My dad texted me and he said, call me as soon as you get this, it's important.
I was constantly on the phone, calling her, giving her updates, texting her, mom's in the cath lab.
I stopped him right there and I said, because I work in the medical field, and I said, Dad, I know what that means, and I know it's not good. And he just told me that everything was going to be okay and that he would keep me updated throughout the day.
The day went on, and it was probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. The rehab nurse came in. She's like, Jodi, you're very lucky. And I said, I know, I'm so lucky. But then I saw bright lights. I saw like rainbows flashing at me. It looked like I was seeing a white tunnel. And I started shaking, and I said, something is not right. Something is very wrong.
In rolls our doctor. He comes running in, and they rush her down to the cath lab. I'm walking alongside the bed. We get to the elevator to go down the cath lab. The door's opening up. The nurse looks at me and says, you need to give your wife a kiss and tell her you love her. So I knew it was serious.
The sad thing is most women out there feel they're healthy. And they're super women. And we are. All of us are. But sometimes we don't take that time to take care of ourselves. Like myself, I was always healthy. My dad did pass away when he was 39. But I never thought of it as having a hereditary heart disease. Of course, I was back in 1985. So who knows? The technology and the medical field changes every minute. The new things that they find. A lot of that is from the funding that we give them for the research that they do. Now that this touched me so close to home, I feel it's important that people are aware. I don't think we realize as women that a heart attack is your number one killer.
Just the things that the American Heart Association does for community awareness, national awareness, I think is huge, and I think people need to take it seriously because you never know. It could be your wife, your daughter, any family member, your best friend. It can happen to anybody.
So because of the American Heart Association and the education and research that they provide, I'm able to experience life with my daughters, my wonderful husband. I get to see them grow into young women and educate them as they can create awareness for others on our experience that we went through.